Welcome to the Horror Unmasked podcast,
where we unmask the monsters
and explore the lore.
I'm Amber.
And I'm Lily, and today we will be dissecting
Heretic.
Let's See a Miracle.
Hey guys, before we get into the episode, I just want to let you guys know, I know it's been a while since we've last uploaded, but we did have a loss in the family, so everything's been a little all over the place. So everything should be fine now, and we should be back to it. So on with the episode. Two Mormon missionaries, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, are traveling to their next stop and talk along the way. At a point, Paxton expresses a desire to be reincarnated as a butterfly that appears on the hands of her loved ones. After some time, they arrive at the home of a reclusive Englishman, Mr. Reed. Reed invites them into his home, but the missionaries are hesitant to be alone with Reed. He assures them that they are not alone because his wife is preparing a blueberry pie in the back of the house. They enter and begin to discuss religion with Reed, making several uncomfortable comments about the Mormon faith and the nature of belief. When Reed steps out of the room, Barnes realizes that the smell of blueberry pie is from a candle. The front door is locked, and they have no phone signal.
That revelation that it was
The
a
fucking candle that was literally burning on the table right between them.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Wild. Following Reed, they enter his study, where he proceeds to give a threatening lecture, arguing that all religions are adaptations of one another, and claims to have found the one true religion.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Reed gives the girls a choice of 2 doors to go through in order to exit the house. One if they still believe in God, and the other if they do not. Barnes rebels, refuting several of his claims before they both enter the belief door, only to discover both doors led to the same dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got real creepy. A decrepit woman appears, eats a poisoned pie,
Mm-hmm.
and dies. So I guess there was blueberry pie all along, but...
Yeah.
With Reed claiming that she is a prophet of God, and the pair will witness her resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A Mormon elder arrives at Mr. Reed's house looking for the girls, but leaves after discovering nothing. The girls unsuccessfully try screaming to get the elder's attention, and after returning to the dungeon, they witness the prophet rise again and describe the afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Barnes rejects the prophet's description and says it's similar to common hallucinations from near-death experiences. When Barnes gives Paxton a signal to attack Reed, he attacks first and slashes Barnes' throat, claiming that she too will resurrect.
Which is fucking wild.
Right.
Spoiler warning. Skip ahead. After Barnes bleeds out, because
Yeah.
Reed removes a metal object from inside her arm, claiming it is a microchip, and it proves that Barnes was not real and the world is a simulation. Because, okay.
Birth control.
Yeah. Paxton, however, realizes the object was a contraceptive implant. And realizes that everything was carefully orchestrated by Reed. While the girls were distracted by the elder's arrival, a second woman hid the prophet's corpse before taking her place and delivering the afterlife description as scripted by Reed. But she added an unplanned comment. It's not real. Reed's killing of Barnes and attempts to convince Paxton of a simulated reality was an improvisation to cover the plan going wrong. Paxton discovers a trap door where the prophet's corpse was hidden and climbs down with Reed promising it will show her the one true religion.
I wonder what that is,
I
Reed.
wonder what that is.
Anyway, Paxton. I don't even. It's just.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So. Paxton finds a chamber full of emaciated women in locked cages. She realizes Reed's conclusion that a desire to control others is the root of all religions.
Yeah.
Paxton stabs Reed with a letter opener, but Reed stabs her as she tries to escape.
Yeah.
As they bleed in the basement, Paxton begins to pray, claiming to an angry and scared Reed that it is done to show kindness to others rather than to produce material results. Because it is scientifically proven that, or something, it's proven that praying doesn't help.
Yeah. It's scientifically proven that praying
does
help.
nothing.
Does nothing.
It's just a kindness.
Yeah.
Reed prepares to finish her off, but Barnes, who was still alive, kills him with a plank of wood before succumbing to her injuries and going unconscious again. Paxton tearfully tells her goodbye in case it's their last time seeing each other, then climbs out of a window and sees a butterfly land on her hand. The butterfly suddenly vanishes, leaving an injured and confused Paxton alone in the snowy landscape.
The end. Yeah. And that whole last scene with the butterfly, it
was snowing?
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. That last moment with the butterfly, it was the idea that, like, because she sees it and then it's vanished. So it's like, was it there? Was it not there?
Right.
It was that kind of a mentality. But yeah.
It makes you think, I guess?
Yeah.
Question mark? Yeah.
Did Barnes listening to her comment about wanting to resurrect as a butterfly and land on the hand of the ones that she loves? Like, was that?
Yeah.
Proving to her that, like, the after situation is real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this movie was released November 8th, 2024. The directors are Scott Beck and Brian Woods. It's distributed by A24. The production companies are Beck and Woods, Shiny Penny Productions, and Catchlight Studios. I do have their box office. What was their budget?
Their budget was 10 milli.
Alrighty. Now,
hate that I said it that way. I thought I was like, I'm going to try to say it a different way and be cool.
10 milli?
10 milli.
You know? Okay.
10 milli Bobby Browns.
Of the time that I had gotten these notes and everything, the box office was 59.2 million.
Yeah, that's also what I had gotten.
So, not terrible.
I don't know. They didn't really make
not
a whole
like,
lot more. I thought more
Yeah.
people were into this one. Just because I know Sophie Thatcher is up and coming.
Yeah. This movie is also R-rated, and it is a horror thriller.
Oh, yeah.
Not a scary movie.
No, not until, like, they
It's
go into
creepy.
the dungeon for a second.
It's creepy,
Yeah.
but not scary on the same level as I would say, like Smiles fucking, that's terrifying.
That's scary.
But on something that has, like, a similar creep vibe, Black Phone Black Phone has
Yeah.
scary moments.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is unsettling.
Yeah.
This is a very thought-provoking and unsettling film.
I was scared by the Prophet, but that was the only time.
Well, yeah, that was the only time, and she made you uncomfortable
No, she scared me.
because she's like,
She was scary.
you know,
I was like, oh my
and then you find out why she's scary looking.
Yeah. Because she's emaciated as fuck.
Yeah. And dressed up to look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. What else you got?
Yeah, I got the runtime. It's a pretty long movie for happening in one house. But there's a lot that goes on, so...
But also not a whole lot that goes on.
Right.
Like, it's...
Because they say a lot of things.
Yeah,
it's more like speaking.
Yeah. I could see this very easily being translated into, like a straight play.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you can see the set design being easily translated.
Yeah. It'd be so easy to do, like, those transitions.
Like, having the going from the main, like, going from outside their travel to them being inside that main living area, and then them transitioning to his study, to then to the basement.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. Like, you can see the scene by scene, like, how you would make that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could totally see this being a straight play very easily.
I'm also shocked by the box office because of the Rotten Tomatoes score,
Which was
91.
oh shit.
So
Yeah.
like you think it would be
Because it
way
wasn't
up
in
there.
I feel like it wasn't in theater for very long.
I don't either.
Because now it's on streaming services,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I don't know. It didn't feel like it was in the movies for very long, or at least it wasn't talked about. Like, it was talked about, but not like
As much as
I would have expected.
you're right for that high of a.
Like, I don't tend to hear a lot of people talking about it, like, in the world, like it just existing about.
Yeah.
It wasn't really mentioned. Like, yeah, you'd see stuff online, but that's because I fucking look up horror stuff all the time, so obviously I'm gonna get suggestions for stuff. But it's like, I don't know, that's weird that it got such a high rating and such a low box office.
Oh yeah, runtime hour and 51 minutes.
Yeah,
So it's on the longer side.
surprisingly long.
And 6 people died.
Yep. The two prophets,
The 2 prophets. Then you have Barnes
Barnes,
and Reed.
Reed.
Who are the other 2?
It's 2 prophets, Barnes and Reed.
Were there? Did I forget to change it? I might have. That's all I remember though.
That's all I remember there being 4. Because the elder doesn't get killed.
No.
Unless they're...
It wasn't any of the girls in the basement, was it?
No, I don't think so. They were just in the cages.
I think it was 4.
Yeah, I would say 4.
I'm gonna go with 4.
I think four's...
Yeah. Death count is 4.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with. And if I'm wrong, email us about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The whole point of this podcast is to explore,
Yeah, truly.
not to really have all the full-fleshed answers.
Yeah.
Anyway, the cast though,
Very tiny.
very tiny. I only have the main 3. 'Cause
Same. I only have the main 3 because they're the main part of the story.
Hugh Grant is Mr. Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Sophie Thatcher is Sister Barnes. Love her. Me and my girlfriend love her a lot. We've seen everything she's been in. We are stans. And then Chloe East, Sister Paxton.
Yeah. And it was... I definitely... Having Hugh Grant be a villain like this is fascinating.
He's been doing that more, like playing the villain roles.
Because he's usually just like a sweetie patootie.
Right. I think
Is the
he's
best
like,
way to describe him.
I think he's like, I'm done with that now.
He's just he's very sweet, or really, like, usually, like, I remember him in like rom-coms and stuff like that, like those kinds of stuff. So to have him play a villain, I think is very fascinating, and I'm glad that he's exploring that side because he's not bad at it. He was a very compelling, interesting character in this movie.
I agree.
And I'd love to see him in other stuff. Like, without question. I would love to see him in other stuff. But yeah. We can get into it.
give me some behind the scenes, because this set was fascinating and I really hope you have some stuff on it.
So I do have stuff. Again, this movie is another one of those that's like not like special effects makeup heavy.
Yeah.
It's definitely more set design related.
Mm-hmm.
So the living room scene, obviously, that's kind of the main thing that we get introduced into this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main part where we first encounter Reed.
Yes. It's very boring and bland and basic in there.
Mm-hmm. Which makes it really creepy.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like too plain.
It's too clean. It's too plain. There's nothing in here telling me
it doesn't
about
look like
anything.
People live here.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like someone is living
like
in this
I feel like I
space.
just walked into like a doctor's office.
Whereas when you go into his study, it's very
filled with his
clearly
stuff.
like it feels like someone's living there.
Yeah.
So that whole scene, that's where they got into the psychological aspect of what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So the production designer, Philip Messina, from the Hunger Games, said that there were a lot of discussions about how the room would represent Mr. Reed's idea of what would put people at ease. So there are little figurines on the shelves. There's a needle point on the wall that says, "Bless this mess." And in the room, there's also a little wicker basket filled with
Right, like
knitting.
how it says "Bless this mess" and it's
like spotless. Yeah. And then the wicker basket filled with like knitting. But Scott and Brian took out the knitting needles. And they did that because the needles could be used as a weapon. So they had to go.
Mm-hmm.
So made it seem like a place, but there was like little
things,
inconsistencies.
Yeah.
It's like, well, he would think about it. He'd be like, well, they could use this knitting needle to do something, so I'm not going to put it in there, but I'm still going to have the illusion.
The yarn in there, yeah.
That something
fascinating.
is fine.
Yeah.
And then like, so nearby, they also see a framed photo on a side table, a snapshot of Grant, with his floppy hair from the 90s, with Nico, his German Shepherd. And then Messina's team built the room on a soundstage in Vancouver. And then for him, the most crucial design element was the wallpaper.
Right.
A sickly yellow floral pattern.
It was all tan and yellow in there. And it was
that
like,
covers the entire room. Dozens of samples were printed for camera tests. It needed to look like something that in another time and place might have been desirable. They wanted just the right amount of awfulness to it.
Fair enough.
So although the idea ultimately didn't make it on camera.
No, yeah, because you see some of those things and like you look at it and you're like, they would have loved that in the 70s.
Yeah,
or
truly.
like,
yes.
Yeah. But
like
not
that's
today,
a very like niche period of time. But Messina prepared a corner of the room where some of the wallpaper was peeling off.
Oh.
And it didn't make it into the film, unfortunately. But they prepared a corner of the room where the wallpaper was peeling, revealing another pattern underneath.
Shit.
So basically they talked about...
How didn't that make it in?
I know, it would have been so cool. Like, even if it was a situation where the girls didn't notice it.
Right.
And it was like, as they're walking through the hallway, we kind of pan and see it.
Right.
Like us as the audience sees
and
it, but not
like
the girls.
Could have been second thing.
Easy, quick.
It's already an hour and 51 minutes. How much?
Exactly.
Right.
And so they talked about the notion of iterations, which is a big topic explored in the story.
Yeah.
So more than half of the sequence consists of close-ups of the three actors. So the background wallpaper appears slightly out of focus in the camera lens of the cinematographer Chung. And this person did Old Boy and Wonka.
Okay.
So viewed from a distance, the swirling lacework of lines could be interpreted as a big spider web. And up close, the pattern has an undeniable Rorschach zing to it.
Oh.
So,
Do you want to explain what that is for?
yeah. So, it depends. Okay. Everyone knows what a spider web is. Haha. Anyway, a Rorschach.
No, I'm talking about spider web. What's that?
You don't know what a spider web is?
No.
Ooh, girl. Let's turn on Animal Planet for a minute.
Rorschach? Easy. Spider web?
Spider webs? No. No. A Rorschach, if you've ever heard of like a Rorschach test, or even if you're more in the superhero world, there's, I think, a character named Rorschach, whose face is a Rorschach.
Really?
It changes.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah. It's fascinating. But essentially what it is it's like an ink blot. Sometimes if you're an art kid, your teachers might have you do a lesson where you like put paint on one side of the page, you fold it, and then you smush it, and then you unfold it, and that's essentially a Rorschach.
Yeah.
What it is that like psychologists and stuff, I don't think that they use it a whole lot anymore because it's kind of pseudoscience-y, but not. It's, if you've ever been online and seen the picture of like, is this an old maid or a young woman? It's that,
right? Kind
of. It's what do you see when you look at it? And that's, it's meant to be like okay, if you see if you're seeing something really dark, maybe that's because your mentality is dark, or if you see this thing, they can kind of like interpret where your mind is at based on what you're seeing in the patterns. Maybe something that can reflect like what's going on in your life. So it's that's why it's kind of pseudoscience-y, but like not at the same time, because it's based on psychology.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out how Rorschach's face works.
Talking about the superhero?
Do his eyes like pop through?
No, he has like a white mask.
Oh, the mask is the thing that changes?
I don't know if it's, I can't remember if it's a mask that he wears. I just know the character's name is Rorschach.
Gotcha.
And the face is, it's all white.
All white.
And then it
morphs.
The Rorschach. It's just a flat,
weird
face.
He don't have eyeballs?
No, and I can't remember if it's a mask or if it's something else, but it's.
Yeah, because I've been trying to rack it.
I think it's a mask that then just like changes. It's something like that.
Now I need to look this up.
It's fascinating.
Sorry, I was in the middle of a yawn.
I think he's supposed to be like I can't remember if he's like a detective or if he's some sort of something like that. But it's
that makes sense.
A vibe.
He's a psychologist.
I can't remember his full details, but it's definitely fascinating kind of character concept. But
anyway,
back to the stuff. So the filmmakers even toyed with the idea of embedding secret images within the wallpaper, but decided against it.
Okay.
But like the shadows on the walls, however, suggest at one point like a dark cloud behind Mr. Reed's head, and later a light sconce over his shoulder is shown in relief as devil horns. So it's all very subtle visual storytelling.
Yeah.
At least in that regards. And then during the scene, our two young missionaries sit on a mid-century modern couch.
Yes.
Actually nabbed by the film set decorator Hamish Purdy.
Abernathy.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
At a flea market.
You said
Hunger Games. Yeah.
What was I about to say? Hunger.
Were you about to say hunger nut? Was that about to happen? What is happening here?
I have no idea.
Your brain went.
Anyway, let me reset. You said Hunger Games earlier, so that's just where my brain is.
Being Hamish, yeah.
Yeah, Hamish.
But they literally picked it up right before filming began.
Wow.
So, and they sit across from Mr. Reed in a Danish style armchair. So it feels like something a professor would have in his living room.
Yeah.
And next to him, there's an empty chair as well, which they called the wife's chair.
Right. As if she were gonna come in.
And that'd be where she sits usually. Yeah. Also, like the furniture's feng shui was carefully rationalized and rearranged during the rehearsal process. Behind the women is an octagonal window that glows with like an aquarium blue.
Oh, okay.
So from the where the couch is
It's a
positioned,
tiny window.
yeah,
though,
it's a very small
all
window.
of these windows are small, so that you
can't escape out of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, they're all like, it's like in a living room you'd expect.
You're expecting like full size windows,
Yeah.
or you're expecting like way more than what's there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
or if there wasn't there like bars?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was definitely weird. It was definitely weird, because it's like, so from the couches, from where the couch is positioned, the girls can crane their necks and see down that long dark hallway that leads out of the living room.
Yeah.
But the window, the freedom of outside, is not visible to them.
Yeah.
And kind of continuing.
These people be thinking about it
Yeah,
so hard.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, when you have a film that focuses so heavily on, it's not a visual film in regards to like special effects. It's more of a visual film in regards to like the psychological
absolutely
things.
It's all psychological. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a brain movie. Because like continuing on the topic of like unseen things, the script originally stated that Mr. Reed had access to a hidden switch to lock and unlock the front door. But Messina, who designed they actually were part of Steven Soderbergh's heist heavy Oceans trilogy. So, and his team came across something more diabolical than a switch.
Oh.
It was a complex bank vault device, a Swiss watch-like jumble of hairsprings, click screws, and hinges, which was built behind a light switch cover next to the front door. It fits right in with the analog nature of the whole story, because it's so intricate, and Hugh loved it.
Yeah.
That's one of those moments where they were able to enhance an idea in a way that really gave the fear factor a bit of a leap.
Right.
It's that locking. It's that weird, like, he locks the door with this, like, really intense kind of lock vibe. And then Chung Hoon's cinematography creates a suffocating mood in this film.
You said what?
Suffocating. It's a very suffocating filming style. So the writer and director team basically said that it's a mood of degrees that slowly amplifies over the course of the film. So it was important to Chung Hoon and Steven that it starts off a little flat, benign almost. And that really gave them somewhere to go. So by the time they get to the second half of the film, they've almost transcended genres.
Kind of, yeah.
From awkward buddy comedy to full-on horror film. And that kind of happens as it transitions, because you get to the basement and you're in.
Yeah. Because, like, they're joking about, like, butterflies landing on your hands, and then they're inside, and they're still in the front room, and she's still trying to crack
uncomfortable,
jokes.
but
it's still kind of
you know,
fun, because she's like, Mr. Reed, haha, because you read a lot.
Yeah, and then it's like they get into the study, and it's a little bit more intense, but it's like, you know, they're playing with ideas, and then you get into the basement, and it's immediately like, oh no.
It's like each room just
slowly
got
ramps
darker,
up.
and then even after the basement, like even further in, like past the basement is even worse. It's like the worst part.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Exactly. So they explained that while he's very familiar with the technical facets of his job, they always wanted to be guided by the story and its tempo. They wanted the first part to look real, not at all like a horror movie. But then as the story progressed, there are shots where the most important thing is to make what's happening look scary. They were less concerned about reality in those moments. So it's those moments. It's why the prophet scared you. It's why the
Yeah.
prophet made you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's that. It's meant to be like a what the fuck is this sort of situation. They also mentioned the fact that they had people have really strong silhouettes. So, in fact, sometimes they shot it so you could barely see people's faces. Because, of course, just presenting a black screen would be neither feasible nor would it do justice to the powerful acting. But getting the exact right amount of detail shot by shot was challenging. They were called finding the perfect blend of illumination in a shot to reveal what needs to be seen without compromising the overall sense of darkness. It was something to be done in a color grading theater. So because they knew Steven would help them bring things up and down in the grade, so it's dark as the basement would be. But they see that what's most important, especially Mr. Reed's eyes. His eyes. So on set, the cinematographer had convinced the director to place a small practical lamp in the dark basement to motivate a few precious slivers of light.
Yeah.
That also adds some warmth to the otherwise cold blue space. So that introduce some variety to the color in the scene. It provided them with the opportunity to manipulate color contrast between warm and cool light more than they would have been able to otherwise. So they were able to kind of play with stuff more in their visual storytelling.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely a heavy visual
For sure.
film without being overt. Because you can be really like this is very intentional. And with this, it's very intentional, but you have to catch it. You have to see it.
Right.
So, yeah.
I like that. Because honestly, I feel like that's the whole movie.
It is. It truly is. Yeah. It's how they do it. It's kind of the nature of this film. It's subtlety and makes you wonder things.
For sure. It makes you think. I know a lot of people were upset about this movie, though, just because of, like, it's a religious movie. You're gonna have people be upset. And we're not here to talk about what
is or isn't right.
About what Heretic got right or wrong about religion. If you want to look that up, I did find a website.
This movie is not a commentary on Mormonism. It isn't a commentary on other religions.
No.
This movie is literally a mental comment. It's a horror film, but it's a commentary on the state that some people get into about religion. But it's also like this kind of guy exists. There are many of him in this world right now. There are many of hymns in this world to varying degrees.
Yeah.
There's some of hymns that are front room hymn. There are some of him that are his weird library chapel hymn. And then there are some of the hymns that are the basement hymn.
Yeah.
And that basement hymn sometimes develops into the caged women hymn. So look, that version of him, it shows 3 to 4, depending on how you want to distribute it, versions of real people who actually exist, who could be sitting on the bus next to you or walking down the street next to you. Because there are so many different thoughts on what religion is, because the whole thing is faith-based.
Yep.
Not getting into the science of it all or anything like that, because that's when it starts getting hairy.
Yeah.
Because people get real uppity about trying to scientifically science stuff. But each religion is faith-based, and each religion, your faith, it's varying degrees. Because there's definitely really intense religious people. And there are some people who were just like, well, like, I grew up with a family who was this, so I'm just like, I don't really do the whole thing, but like, I still like, I say that I'm this just because I grew up in that background, but I'm like, I'm not really doing the things that we used to do.
Right.
Like, so it's varying degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's faith is varying degrees.
Absolutely.
And this movie kind of shows, at least between the two girls, I would say a level of the varying degrees.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because there's one that's maybe not as intense,
Mm-hmm.
and one that's like definitely more. Both of them have like do not take this wrong, a realistic view towards their religion, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're not like, it's not, they're not overtly mentality towards it.
Right.
Like, she believes in reincarnation and things like that. And like, obviously the one has birth control.
Right.
They're not, it's not the quote term, they're not zealots for their religion.
Right.
They're just two people who are existing within their religion in varying ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see all of that all playing off each other.
For sure.
So, because even when it comes down to it, the reason, at least in my brain, the reality of why he kills Barnes first is because he sees a lack of belief.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
At least in my eyes, I think that's the reason. But even in the end, he's still mad at the other one for having some form of religious belief.
Right.
So it's wild because he's dealing with his own concept of like, well, I don't believe in anything, but I believe in everything, but I believe in nothing, but I believe in everything.
I could not really tell what he stood for.
Exactly. Because it's like,
bro, what do you...
his comments about like the simulation. Well, no, either you've over isolated yourself and don't comprehend what this is because you thought it was a fucking implant.
Right.
From some whatever the fuck. Like, you were both the conspiracy guy and you were tinfoil hatting while being religious. I'm
right.
like, what do you actually stand for? So because he's literally in a moving state of confusion.
Yes. Have you seen his house?
Yeah. And
I'd be confused too.
And his comment of control, well, that's kind of given for society in general. Everything is to control something because everyone wants to control some level of their life on some degree. I mean, even the most ancient of cultures gave reasons why earthquakes happened and why it rained and why volcanoes blew. Like, and that ended up into some religious beliefs. So it's like everyone gave reasons regardless because they want to have some level of mental control over something. But his was a little bit more scary.
Yeah.
His was definitely more scary. Because also you have to think. I wish it would have been so cool if they had kept that wallpaper scene. Even if it was like the girls, while waiting in that room when he walked off, noticed that the wallpaper was peeling and then peeled it off and could see and peeled off like a couple layers and could see multiple different colors. Because you also have to think, all of those women who were in there who were the prophets are previous victims.
Yes.
So that would have been an amazing element.
How many wallpapers have been
of being
there?
Like,
does he change it every time?
Every time. And it's the idea of like, whether that's just a mental place that he has to be in, where he has to visually make it look different.
Yeah.
Almost like he's disguising the home, even though no one knows that these people are missing.
Right.
Like, he still has to change something so that no one figures it out. It's weird.
Right, but it's his own like mental...
It's his mental place that he's built.
Yeah. It's his own mental prison is what I'll say.
Truly. Truly.
Genuinely. Like, probably his mental prison come out into like physical reality.
Because even at the beginning of this movie, I can't remember exactly, but isn't it that he requested for them to come visit him?
Yes.
It's not like they ran into him somewhere out in the wild. He requested for people to come to him. he reached out first.
Yeah, because I think they had a list of people who were like interested or seemed interested in
Exactly.
the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was him. And that's why he was probably like, yeah, this time works best for me.
Exactly.
Like making sure he was like the last one on the list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Making sure.
Because if he's smart enough to do all this other stuff,
Mhm.
then
Oh, yeah.
he's thought about it hard.
Oh, yeah. But now we're getting into your side of things. I know my discussion kind of devolved into probably some of your stuff. On some level, at least.
A little. I've got quite a bit
But
here.
yours,
Which
and
is to be
again,
expected.
preface. Nope. Don't
Okay, yeah,
take
I'll
our
say
thoughts
it.
towards, you know, whatever.
This is a disclaimer. Nothing of what I say is my personal beliefs. Nothing of what I'm telling you right now is in any way meant to offend or make you feel like your beliefs are less than or anything like that. This is fact. This is pretty much basic middle school research that they teach you. I went on to Britannica and I went heretics.
Exactly.
Heresy.
Yeah.
And I got a whole bunch of shit. So,
Oh, yeah. And it's also just the idea that, like, we're spiritual. We have a different mentality towards things.
yeah. This is just facts that I'm reading from the internet, or it could be wrong. You know?
So,
I am just a girl.
doing some research.
I'm just a girl in a spoopy world.
Yeah. Truly. Truly.
Because it's scary out here.
God fuck it
Anyway.
is.
So, heresy. Heretics. If you're not in the know, I guess we're about to be.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Okay. So, heresy originates from the Greek word heresis, which actually started off as a neutral term which meant just holding particular philosophical opinions.
Okay.
That's all it meant. It was just a neutral term, just holding.
Literally just meant, like,
I have philosophical thoughts and opinions.
You have an opinion.
Yes.
This is what opinion used to be called.
Yes. Heresis.
Heresis
But-
was the word for opinion.
Philosophical opinion.
Philosophical,
A philosophical one. However,
Which God fucks. Philosophy is its own whole conversation.
and I know I just said what I said, so don't take this the wrong way, because I know I said what I just said.
Because it's still in this recording. I did not take it out, I promise.
So don't get mad at me when I say this. I'm sorry. It wasn't until Christians adopted the term, giving it a disapproving connotation.
And I will say this. That's kind of classic. Prove me wrong.
It is, again, I will not bash you or your religious beliefs.
I heard the other one.
I almost said
I heard
political.
Those two are becoming a little too familiar,
The
those two
lines
words.
are kind of blurring, but that's fine. So the Christian church considered itself the custodian of divine revelation.
Yup.
And
Still
was
do.
like, yeah, this gives us the authority
to dictate everything.
under the Holy Spirit's inspiration.
Yep.
Yeah, so any differing interpretations were deemed heretical.
The Holy Spirit.
Yes.
If you can hear the quotation marks I have in this.
I could. I didn't even need to look at you. So yeah, it used to be a neutral term.
Granted, everything that they stand on is all stuff that they've nitpicked from other religions. But it's fine.
It is, because that's what you believe in and we're not going to bash it.
Exactly. You know, Christmas. Or as
Easter.
they've decided to refer to it as Christ Mass. Whatever the fuck. Okay. Because that makes more sense, but whatever.
Also Easter.
Also Easter.
Which is crazy. Because it's fucking Easter.
It's Easter.
It's fine.
Whatever.
It's how they celebrate.
Fucking how do
Spring.
rabbits come into that?
I guess.
And eggs. A rabbit that produces eggs. But okay.
Yeah, no, that's not how that goes.
I don't know where that side of it all came from.
I think that honestly came from capitalism.
You know what? That would fucking make sense.
That came from capitalism.
I mean, our modern Santa is capitalism.
A modern Santa is capitalism for sure. All of the holidays are now. I mean, we can't just blame religion. It really is capitalism.
Hey, I will say, at least Halloween still has its pagan roots.
Fair enough.
Halloween has its pagan ass roots. You do anything with a pumpkin or you get dressed up for Halloween, you are already participating in that pagan belief system.
Yep. You put a tree in your house for Christmas, that's also pagan.
That's also pagan. Pagan.
That's okay.
There's a whole lot of stuff that you don't realize.
But
it's pagan.
It's okay.
But it's fine. It's fine. It has to be
because
expected.
even this movie says that basically all religions are based off another one.
Honestly, that is the most truthful thing out of this entire film.
Yeah.
Is that you can quite easily track similarities between
every
religions.
Single religion. Yes.
Having a main dude who does something that then does something that causes everybody to believe something a certain way because of their mentality towards stuff. That's why you have certain characters like Jesus and Buddha and there's very clearly certain characters and character tropes or character arcs that you can kind of piece together from different places.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it all ties back to the same fucking thing with a different label on it.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
There we are. Are we heretics?
No. In the classic sense?
Yes.
Yes. In the original sense, yes. In the modern sense, I don't know. Because heretic means something very different nowadays.
I still have a lot to talk about. So
oh, yeah.
Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah, you do.
So, early development. As early as the apolistic times, the distortions of belief really threaten the Christian community. From within.
I'm not surprised.
So the Apostle Paul, he corrected misunderstandings of Christ's resurrection, and then also those who were denying the reality of incarnation.
Yeah.
So he was correcting these things. But by the 2nd century, the Christian church recognized the importance of keeping its teachings pure. So they created this criteria.
Pure.
Yeah, pure.
Pure.
Quotes. So they created this criteria to test any deviations.
Which is wild.
So.
Because differing opinions.
Yeah. Right.
Is a no-no.
Right. Anyway, so these anyway. So to define it, it's really evolved over time.
Yeah.
But initially it was loosely used until the 11th century when it was applied to a clerical misconduct. And then early in the 13th century, this guy named Robert Grosseteste.
Okay. That's the name.
He basically defined heresy as an opinion chosen by human faculties, contrary to sacred scripture, openly taught, and pertaneously defended.
Pertaneously?
Yep.
Okay.
That's what he defined it as.
So basically, heresy is you don't believe what I believe in. Fuck you. You're a heretic.
Yes.
That's what that means.
Yes.
Is anything that's not what I say it is, you're a heretic.
Basically.
Or anything that my religion says it is, you're a heretic.
Yes. So, yeah. So criminal heresy involved belief contradicting orthodox doctrine.
Yeah.
And
AKA anything that wasn't the church.
yeah, arrived at through human reasonings and publicly proclaimed. So if like you were sitting there and they were like, this is our religion, and you went, that doesn't really sound right. Actually, I don't agree with you.
Heretic.
Yeah.
Immediately.
So the church combated heresy by excommunicating them, or execution.
An easy example of, let's say there was a religion that believed that everyone should have blue hair. And you're like, I don't really believe that. I feel like we could have like pink hair.
Right.
Heretic. Anything that is not what they believe is heretical.
Yeah. So because of this, around the 12th and 13th centuries, there was something called the Spanish Inquisition.
Very familiar.
Very familiar. Yes. So it went on for a long time.
Like a long time. Over a large span of area.
Yes. If you don't know about it, I don't know.
I don't know how you made it through school, because that was definitely a topic.
Yeah.
If you've never been in a history class,
just a little thing called the Spanish Inquisition,
which was a big topic. There was always a big chapter on that one.
Yeah.
Thick. I'm thick. Look, I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. There's a very specific religion that has a lot of wars attributed to their names. A lot of murder and death associated with a very specific religion.
I honestly feel like if you added it up, that's the one with the main, most of the wars. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, this war was started to combat heresy.
Yep.
And unrepentant heretics were handed over to civil authorities for punishment.
Yeah.
Which
a lot of pagans died.
Yeah, so a lot of that often meant execution.
Yeah. A lot of death happened.
Yeah.
You don't believe in what we believe in, you're going to die.
It's impossible to give an exact number because it was so many people
all over
and for such a long period of time.
It wasn't like a 5-year span.
No.
It was like it was a long fucking time.
I will say that the witch trials are kind of coupled into this because it's a similar
concept.
Saying you're a witch is the same thing as saying you don't believe in Christianity, basically.
Exactly.
So
yeah. It's a similar vibe.
They're very close to each other. They couple them in with each other.
Yeah.
Because it was
it's a very similar concept.
Yeah, because the witch hunts. Because the attitude towards witches and the witch hunts, from 14th to the 18th centuries, it all stemmed from this long history of the church's attacks on heretics. So it was
and that's why what happened in Salem happened.
Yeah. Because you have this pope who's condemning witchcraft as Satanism, which is the worst of all possible heresies.
Yeah.
In their eyes.
Exactly.
So it's but there were so many different accusations against these people. It wasn't even just heresy, but it was infanticide.
Yeah.
The killing of infants.
Yep.
Invocations of demons.
Yep.
Sacrificing animals.
Yeah.
Practicing orgies.
It's also why in the early time of D&D, everybody thought people were fucking Satan worshippers.
Yes.
Who played fucking D&D.
Yeah.
Because of the satanic panic.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Satanic panic, also because it was this new thing that was for the nerdy kids, and people
It
just
just was so
had
stupid.
to.
And it's also people getting angry at punks and all of that rebellious nature. It's in the same vibe, just a modern version of what was going on.
Yeah.
People accusing people of things because of stuff that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Like, it's so bad that they really they don't know, because I said the 12th and the 13th, and then the witch trial started on the 14th through the 18th.
Yep.
So it's like there is an overlap, and you don't really know which one is like the first.
Yeah.
For witchcraft specifically.
Exactly.
Because it's all just heresy. So I literally just said it started from the 11th century
and went to
the 18th century. So we have centuries of
death happening because people didn't want to believe in the same thing as other people.
Yeah. I mean,
it's also the reason why it's the reason why the Pilgrims happened. It's because they were literally running from religious persecution, but because they were also way scarier and way more intense about their religion. Theirs was not a fun. There were the hellfire and damnation types.
Right.
So, I very clearly, a modern day version of that, ran into a little old lady who was like, I'm a teacher for like little kids, and she handed me some pamphlets, and those pamphlets were literally, the time is nigh, hellfire and damnation, your soul is like, I was like, you are the littlest of grannies, and you just handed me a piece of paper that says my soul's fucked and I'm going to hell, good luck. I'm like, damn,
looks can be deceiving, girl.
I'm like, y'all people are scary.
These grannies have wrath in them. For what reason, I don't know.
Grannies of a specific religion have that wrath in them.
Yes.
Because you don't hand out those kind of pamphlets if you ain't believing in a certain something. Because that's some wild shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and that's the whole reason. There's so many variations of it. There's multiple versions of it. It's why Christianity is like the top, like, overarching, and then you have all of these little branching ones that branch off.
Yes.
And it's, some of them are fucking scary and are hellfire damnation, and some of them are like, hey, whatever, like they're, so, it depends on the version of it that you run into.
It's facts. There's so many Christians who think that Christianity is like something different. Like, it really is.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me wonder if like all religions are like this.
It's weird. It's like your own opinion on what your religion is dictates what your religion is.
Right. Right. Oh my God.
It's almost like we're all heretics because we all believe in our own things.
Because it's like, not every Christian is going to have the exact same belief. It's like these people just wanted to fit everyone into a bubble and just have everybody just be these little ants that are brainless and mindless and just say, this is the version, this is it. I agree, this is how life is going to be forever. Mm-hmm. And it's like, no, that's not how God made us. If you really want to go into it, like, we all have opinions for a reason.
And also, if you really want to get into the fucking pedantics of it, if you really want to get bitchy and complaining about your specific religion, you need to reread that book, because are you cutting your hair, sir? Because if did you cut your hair? I'm sorry. That's against your religion. So remember,
literally,
people pick and choose from their belief, from the physical object, which is the Bible, the Torah, the whatever, the Quran, all of those little bits and pieces. You pick and choose the passages that you want to believe in.
It's so true, and I know all of you are doing it, because I know all of you are not reading this book going, well, those of you who are in a religion.
Shit, I had a friend who fucking read that book multiple times and became an atheist. So trust me.
Oh, most people do.
Yeah. The contradictions are prevalent.
Yeah, like,
are
heretical?
Prevalent.
I say hypocrisy.
Facts.
Oh.
But again,
because not all of you are following every single line in that book to a T.
No. Again, it's the small things. Not all of y'all are following all of them commandments.
Right. But I'm also not even talking about today. I'm definitely talking about all these people in the past, too. Like
all y'all, even the people who were probably in the fucking Spanish Inquisition that were doing the killing, probably all did not have the same mentality towards it.
No.
There were definitely motherfuckers who were like, should we really be killing these people?
Right.
Should we really be killing them and not just telling them like, hey, maybe try and change your ways?
Right.
Instead of being like, you don't believe in it, fuck it, you're dead.
It's so hypocritical.
So it's there's just so many fucking knots in this web. There's so many fucking 1,000 tied knots that you're just trying to slowly unravel. It's like a pair of fucking headphones that have been in your pocket for like the entire day, and then you try to untangle them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much shit.
There is so much shit. And I still have more to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so much. Like, heretics, I know we've said it's, like, just a differing opinion, but, like, the heretics, like, some of the stuff that they were getting, like, executed or...
Random shit.
It's... Some heretics believe that Jesus only seemed to be human. And they were considered heretics. That was... Docetism?
Isn't that the whole point?
Right.
Is that he was supposed to be just like a dude? He was just a man.
Then there's...
whatever. Okay.
Then there's adoptionism, where some heretics viewed Jesus as a man adopted by God at his resurrection, baptism, or conception.
Okay. Which also functionally makes sense. Because Mary's not having that baby any other way
than sex.
Because I'm sorry, in vitro fertilization did not exist yet.
Correct.
As a physical proof of in vitro fertilization, it definitely did not exist back then.
Facts.
So she ain't not boinking somebody. Sorry.
There's also some people who believe that Christ was God's first creature, but not fully divine.
Which is completely functional. I can totally see that.
Because he's still half human, you know? There's also...
Or as one would call it, a demigod. Haha.
There was Montanism, and they believed that the age of the Holy Spirit had arrived, and that the institutional church would be replaced by charismatic figures filled with the Spirit and spiritual knowledge.
That kind of sounds like now.
Yeah.
That sounds like them motherfuckers that are up on that stage being like, I preach the bubba-da-bup-da-bups and the bubba-da-bup-da-bups. And I'm just like, that's those church channels.
Yeah.
That's those church channels with that motherfucker up on that stage with that speaker on his ear. That's that now.
So, like, they believe in, like, many different things, but it's honestly not even that crazy of a variation.
It's literally people being like,
it's like, well, yeah, he's still alive, like he still exists, like they're not
denying it. They're just like, okay, well, like, what if he's just like a dude like me?
Right.
That means I can identify better with him.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Like, it really was what you were saying earlier,
literally.
where it was like red hair, but what about pink?
What about pink? But what if I want to be blonde?
And then killing you for it.
Oh yeah. And then that person who has pink has a friend who's like, well, what if I want to have pink with like blonde highlights?
Yeah. Right. Still my favorite look on you, by the way.
Fucking wild. Some fucking wild shit.
Yeah. Anyway, I did say that this went on for a very long time. And that it is impossible to provide an exact number. But it's estimated that people tried for being a heretic was over 100,000.
Oh yeah.
But the number of those executed was between 40 and 60,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in the thousands.
That's a lot of fucking people.
It's a lot of people. And I know you're probably like, that's not that bad now.
Yeah, now. The population was not that big back then.
Yeah.
They were not in the billions?
It was about 1 billion.
Yeah.
We've grown exponentially, guys. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
And if you don't know that, did you go to science class?
Did you go to school in general? Did you go in any social economic class?
Sorry. Not bashing. I just
You
not
know?
everyone knows this stuff, but
Which is wild, but hey.
I will say that's just the failings of our school system.
That's true.
Yeah. So that many, but then the ways in which they were executed. You think it was all hanging?
Hell no.
No.
I'm ready to hear it because I
Heresy
know some
was
of
a
them.
capital offense.
Oh, yeah.
In all states of Western Europe.
Oh, yeah.
So
Death penalty without question.
yeah, if heretics admitted their errors but refused to recant, they were handed over to secular authorities and burned at the stake.
Mm-hmm.
That was practiced in Babylonia and ancient Israel, and then later adopted in Europe and North America.
Yep.
So, but Spanish heretics suffered this penalty during the Inquisition, as did French disbelievers and heretics such as Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was condemned and burned in 1431, which is also around when the witch one started.
Yep.
So it's,
And God were they, quote, quote, inventive with how they killed witches.
oh, yeah, not just burning at the stake. We have hacking to death.
Yep.
Just hacking.
Just hacking.
They just,
not beheading. Not just
although it
is
is on the list,
Although it's on the list. Hacking apart.
to death.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Stoning.
Oh, yeah. Similar to hacking, but with blunt objects.
Thrown at you.
Just thrown.
at you.
Tons of people throwing rocks at you
Yes.
till you die.
Crucifixion.
Yep. Classic.
Yep.
Literally.
Yep. Just really, really, really terrible things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No good.
Oh, yeah.
Very no good.
Mm-hmm.
I have some stuff on groups that were heretical during the time, but honestly, I'm at a point where it's if you want to learn about it,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Because there was a lot of it.
There's so many. There are you look it up and there's group after group after group after group, and it's okay, I don't know anymore.
And we definitely have them nowadays.
Oh, for sure. They're never gonna go away. People think, okay, I will
It's
say.
worse
I will
right
say.
now.
I'm gonna drop my political views, kind of.
Kind of. Not like we haven't done it already.
I'm really irritated when people say we're gonna go back to how a certain thing was. When we were never gone.
No.
Gay people have always existed.
Yeah.
People with differing opinions have always existed.
Yep.
Black people, people of color have always existed. Transgender people have always existed. And
It's just how they were interpreted.
it's just how they were interpreted.
How
and
society
we are
treated
going
them.
to be here whether you see us or not.
Or not.
Because we will always have community with each other.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter.
Yep.
So it does not matter what you say, what you do, how you
Oh,
treat
yeah.
us. We have each other and we are not going anywhere. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And it's true. It's definitely true. There's especially the climate of the current time frame is frustrating and infuriating and fucking annoying. But we're going to do our best and do our best to change it without question.
If they're trying to hide parts of history that they don't want us to see, like they've been doing forever, I'm going to scream it louder.
Yep.
You want to bury the LGBTQ writers and songwriters and musicians and artists, and you want to
Won't
cut them
happen.
out of history? Nah. I'm going to
won't
be
happen.
singing their songs loud. I'm going to be posting their art everywhere.
Mhm.
I'm going to be, yes.
Removing,
I'm not going to shut up.
removing books about science, removing books about colored people, stories of different people, just in general, different viewpoints, different mentalities. It just because you get rid of it doesn't mean I can't walk into somewhere else and find it.
Stop cis man whitewashing things.
Because also, you forget. There is a sentiment. It's both scary and true, but also comforting. The internet is for forever.
Yes.
The internet is forever.
Yes.
So good luck on trying to stop me from finding what I want.
Unless they, suddenly put, because, they do that, they'll put like little blocks on things so you can't see certain medias.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
the
okay,
internet is
whatever.
forever.
Yeah.
But the world outside, I can step away from a phone or a computer.
Yeah.
And talk to the people that are directly involved.
Yeah.
So it's the good luck because it already is there.
Yeah.
You can't erase something
Because someone's going to see it.
that when something starts for the first time, yes, it's easier to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's not this. You can't get rid of something that's been here for longer than you've existed.
Which is why it also makes me sad, because, it also has always existed.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oppression.
Mm-hmm. Hatred.
Hatred.
Bigotry. Mm-hmm. But also hope. Standing up against others who do injustices. It's just the way that we have to kind of live.
Yeah.
And
I honestly think it is the way of the world.
Human nature. It's human nature. There's always going to be people who want to be above others.
And this might be a sad thought, but I also think it's a realistic one. All of humanity has been about just people trying to rise above.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never been any different.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be struggle. But there's also always going to be
hope.
Because that's why we've kept going.
It's kind of like the mentality. I've heard this from some teachers and some professors sometimes, where it's stop comparing yourself to others, because there's always going to be someone better than you and there's always going to be someone worse than you.
Yeah.
So what's the point
Always.
in comparing yourself when they're not the example? Because guess what? That person that you have that's better than you does. They compare themselves to someone who's better than them or that's worse than them. It's an ever increasing incline. And there is no such thing as perfection.
Facts.
Those who seek it and those who search for it will never find it and will spend their entire life wasting their time trying. Because perfect doesn't exist. Perfection is not a reality.
Preach.
You just have to be happy and go about your business.
Right.
And also, mind your own goddamn business.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. Go about your own business.
Mind your own goddamn business.
We don't
Because
teach that enough.
Ain't nobody
to kids.
need you sticking your big ass nose in someone else's shit.
Mm-mm.
Do you really want to be smelling someone else's shit? No, you don't. Mind your own goddamn business. Hey, and I'm a person who is nosy AF and likes knowing all the tea. That doesn't mean I have to say something. Even if you a nosy motherfucker and you like to know all of the tea and all the juice, it doesn't mean that you have to be part of the problem. It also does not mean that you have to contribute. There are definitely people who stick their nose into other people's business when they shouldn't, and they cause way more problems and way more trauma than they should.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
Because they think they know everything.
Oh, yeah.
You don't. You don't know these people.
They
Why
think
do
that
you
they know
think
better.
you have an opinion? Goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
Just like these people with 1 stars.
Oh, well, we're always going to appreciate you 1 stars. Because you took the time to fucking write something.
And I have 2 today.
Ooh, okay.
Because I thought they were funny.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. That was a hard pivot, but here we are. Here we go. There is no subtext here. This film is a blatant attack on God, religion, and for whatever reason, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It is so transparent that either Scott Beck or Brian Woods was raised in the church. Did you get shorted a cookie on Sunday school? Or did you just grow up and decide you were too cool for school?
Why is it that I know exactly what this man looks like?
Your parents must be so proud. I have religiously, pun intended, watched every A24 film since day one. They have become more politically saturated over the past couple of years. No one goes to the movies hoping a director will force their theology, their deluded ideas on sexuality, or their politics down their throats, and be shorted $20 for the privilege. With this film following The Front Room, basically a film about an old hag smearing poop on walls. Great writing, bro. That's 3 strikes. You're out, A24.
I'm sorry. Have you been under a rock? Are you sure you haven't? What movies are you watching that don't have political statements or personal opinions in them?
That's all of them.
That's all.
And honestly,
Hi, that's all theater?
that's all A24. What are you talking about?
It's all theater in general.
It all has a message. It's all political, bro.
All of it is.
The whole point. Art is political.
Art.
Y'all don't think so? For sure it is.
Dude, literally, the ancient Greeks used to, like, theater in the back in the days used to just be like, let's make fun of the rich people.
Right. One statement I don't like is how everyone's like, don't make it political. It isn't political.
Yes, it is.
Everything
is political.
You want to know why? Because nothing is political.
Exactly.
You want like that's genuinely
everything and nothing. That's the point. It's everyone will always make everything out to be that way, even if it isn't.
Yep. Thank you.
So,
You got it.
Like, and the same goes for religion. Everyone will make things out to be religious, even if it isn't.
Even if it isn't.
So,
everything is undertone.
Like, I can hear the clink of the cross around your neck, sir. Which is already gross. I can see the white pressed collared t-shirt.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And the cut trimmed brown hair that your ass has. I can see it.
Oh my god.
And you have a 50-50. I know you have dark rimmed brown glasses.
Why are you like describing my ex to a T? Is this why?
Is he accurate?
Hold on.
Is that accurate to that message that dude just wrote?
No, because my ex wouldn't have been so grammatically correct.
Oh, accurate. I'm just like, I can see you in some brown ass pants and some loafers. I can see it, and I know you. I've walked past your ass. Your shirt's tucked in and you're wearing a brown belt.
Gosh. Okay. I guess at this point we just have to be like, I can say as much as I want. We're not here to attack anyone.
Yeah, but we have our belief systems. It's, hey, look.
I'm really not. But
you do or don't have to like people.
Yeah.
It is not, I do not have to like you based on your religion. I'm sorry. I can tolerate you. There's a
lot
difference.
of people are like, well, you shouldn't base how you view or like someone off of their religious beliefs, but then you go deeper
That's exactly
into
what
it.
you do.
And like I said, it's all political. It's all religious. Everyone's going to make it that way. So that's obviously what it's going to be. Because if you don't see eye to eye with somebody on religion, it's literally like you are, that's their tribe.
That's two walls fighting each other.
That is their tribe. That is their identity. That is who they are.
Yeah.
The
reality of the situation is I can tolerate you.
Yeah.
And that's where people struggle.
But again, like we've said, we know there are different Christians. We are talking about the bad ones of you.
And I'm talking about the fact that, like, there's the difference.
Yes.
The ones who come out and are like, well, not all, you're one of the ones that have problems.
Yes.
Because obviously, was I fucking talking about you? If I am not talking about you, why are you coming to your own defense?
Right.
Then you are clearly part of the problem.
Because we've said we know it's not all.
And
We know.
we know it's not all, but there's definitely problems.
But if you feel like we're talking to you, then we probably are.
Exactly. If you feel like I'm talking to you, then yes. If you know I'm not talking about you, good on you.
Because genuinely, all I want is for everybody, genuinely, everyone, that includes who we're talking about, to just be happy and live a good life. And that's it.
The truth of the matter is it's my sentiment. It's the reason why they are the way they are is because they can't tolerate others. Tolerance is going to be your biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can tolerate you. That doesn't mean I have to like you.
Facts.
I can tolerate you. I don't have to like you.
Yeah, I just think the Christians' tolerance of other people has just gone out the window.
Exactly.
But it's like, do you realize that we're all just tolerating you too?
That's the point. I'm like, I don't have to believe in what you believe in. That's called tolerance.
Like, literally. And you think it's one side? No.
I can tolerate you, and if I can sit in a room with you and can functionally have a normal conversation, that's called tolerating.
Right. I think it's wild because we've put tolerance on like the non-taboo things that we think about, just like the normal things. Like the people who think the normal thoughts are the ones who have tolerance for other people. But it's like, why is that the case?
Exactly.
It's the same thing of heretics. It's just a difference of opinions.
Exactly.
But
and unfortunately, every single one of us is a heretic.
Yeah. Yes. Because we all
not a single one of us isn't.
Right.
And that includes any and all of you Christians. Mm-hmm. The good and the bad.
The good and the bad. Because none of you, not a single one of you, have the same exact belief on your own religion.
Exactly.
There's too many parts to it. There's too many.
There's too many people with too many thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Too many people.
That's lately what I feel about the world.
Are too many. And that's what it is. That is really what it is.
I'm like,
there's a lot of people with a lot of different thoughts.
Why can't we just agree?
Because we can't.
And I don't mean like,
people
and I'm not talking about what the Christians did, making like heretics and everybody must think the same. I'm just saying, why can't we all think in a kinder tone towards each other?
Why can't we all tolerate each other?
That part.
It's not agree. I'm not asking you to agree with me.
Fair enough.
I'm asking you to tolerate me.
Tolerate me, yeah.
Why can't you tolerate me?
I feel like this needs to be a bigger thing that we teach to our children, like tolerance.
Hashtag tolerate.
Hashtag tolerate.
Like, that's the real truth.
Because
I don't need you to agree with me. I need you to tolerate me.
And I feel like we've put such a bad connotation on it. Like, it's like, oh, you have to accept me. I won't accept anything other than acceptance.
And the only reason why it's gotten to that level is because our tolerance level has dropped because of their not having a tolerance level.
Yeah.
If you can't, I am a fucking cat person. I am such a hardcore cat person. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm.
Do I live with 2 dogs right now? Yes. Do I tolerate it? Yes. I'm not going to go out and do something, but I can tolerate it. I don't have to like them to live with them.
Right.
I don't have to like you to live with you. We can still walk down the same side of the street at the same fucking time, and neither one of us has to say something to each other.
Nope.
About our beliefs, about our physical appearance, about anything. It's all about tolerance. And unfortunately,
but you know what that's about, right? It's because they feel like these people who have different opinions and different views are going to come in and teach that to their children and teach that to their family members. And it's all going to go different because nobody's going to have the same viewpoint anymore. And your kids aren't going to think the same way as you. And they're going to go off and they're going to do something you don't agree with because...
But that's the point.
That is the point. That's life. That's humanity. That's...
Because everyone being the same is fucking boring. Everyone being the same is fucking boring. How many movies exist today?
Right.
that are about societies that have all conformed to a specific idea or specific format of living and existing with specific rules, specific groups that you are a part of based on this specific thing, and no one can deviate. But that whole movie is about the person that makes us deviate from the system, because those systems are unrealistic. Because no one is the same. There's literally an entire series called Divergent. What the fuck do you think that word means?
Different. Brain different.
And literally that whole movie is based on the fact that character is all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Even the fucking Harry Potter series. I'm sorry. All of us are all of the houses.
Mm-hmm.
Because not a single person, even in the final movie, can you truly tribute to the same house that they started in. There are definitely characters that you can say, oh, well, they're now more like this house.
Mm-hmm.
They're more like this. Oh, I'm how many times have you heard someone say, oh, I'm a Ravenpuff, or I'm a Slither Griffin, or whatever the like. It's because no human is one thing. We're all many things.
And we get it wrong sometimes.
Yeah. And it's okay. Because to err is to be human.
Yeah. Yes. But it's also about fixing those errors.
Yes. And admitting to them.
Yeah.
Ooh, shit. Ooh. Is that the hard part?
That is the hard part. Because you can also think
Were you wrong?
Mm.
Admitting to being wrong is always hard for some people.
Yep.
Including these fucking 1-star people.
Mm-hmm.
Gets us into this kind of conversation.
Yep. And I'm about to say the other guy was said, so here we go.
All right.
This movie embodies everything that has become typical of modern Hollywood. So I can't say I'm surprised anymore. The plot relies on a contrived scenario where a supposedly brilliant character is inexplicably outsmarted by a 19 or 20-year-old and not in a clever or believable way. It's almost as if the writers abandoned logic entirely to push an agenda. Hollywood seems to have developed a strange fixation on undermining male characters, often making them lose in ways that feel forced and downright insulting to the audience's intelligence.
Why do I know what this guy looks like, too?
Instead of creating nuanced storytelling or well-rounded characters, this film opts for lazy tropes that prioritize messaging over coherence. The result is a frustratingly predictable and shallow experience that does a disservice to its own premise.
So, read the first part again.
This movie embodies everything that has become typical of modern Hollywood.
Next part.
So I can't say I'm surprised. The plot relies on a contrived scenario where a supposedly brilliant character is outsmarted by a 19 or 20-year-old.
That.
Not in a clever or believable way.
That, right there. You're also forgetting, you're not paying attention to the story then. Because you're not paying attention to the psychological state. It is a psychological film.
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying attention to the psychological state that this character is in. You are watching his facade crack as the movie continues. Mm-hmm. He is psychologically unstable.
Yeah.
And two girls with more common sense, regardless of their religious beliefs, who have their sense.
Mm-hmm.
Not senses in anything else, but like literal, like they have their mental faculties.
Mm-hmm.
This man does not have his mental faculties. You're telling me that if you ran across someone who was losing their mind, that you couldn't easily overtake them?
Right.
You understand that there's like literal, again, scenes from movies of people slapping someone to bring their sense back.
Also, you're saying he's a brilliant character.
Like, in what regard?
Who keeps women in his basement?
Are you trying to say like the actor is brilliant? Because yes, I would agree with that. Saying that the actor is brilliant.
No, they're definitely trying to say the character is.
Because if you're saying that the character is brilliant,
because they're talking about the plot.
He's not brilliant. That's the point.
Yeah.
He's confused.
Yes.
even at the end of the movie, he shows that he's confused. He doesn't get it. Literally, the end of the movie when he's sitting there bleeding, he's mad because she still has faith in her belief systems. And he's like, I don't know what faith or belief is.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. You don't have to. And that's the premise of the film.
Yeah.
You don't have to get it.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's it. You just don't have to get it. And he just wants to get it so badly that it makes him enraged to see someone who's like, well, I don't care if I get it or not. I just have it.
Right. Yeah. Also, who's to say a 20-year-old can't outsmart an old guy?
Exactly. I'm
What do
sorry.
you
I
mean?
have a lot more access to a lot more of the world than some older people are.
Also,
I'm not gonna lie. And you trust me. There are some people who refuse to grow technologically, and also I think he's like, also just based on the character, it does not seem like he's getting out a whole lot.
no.
So no shit, these girls can very easily
Yeah.
overcome him.
I don't think he's really getting out a lot. I think he sticks to his artifacts in his room, and like I don't honestly think he's learned that much more about
the world, as
world.
it's since the time that he's isolated himself.
Yeah, yes.
Like it's almost like he's stuck in a specific time.
Yeah, I agree. That's probably what
which is
that
another fucking mentality on like how was he raised,
Right?
That winded up into him isolating himself like that.
Because yeah, also when you isolate yourself and you're not going around different people and those ideas,
You are in your own head.
You're in your own head. You're gonna get it wrong. Like you're not learning new things from new people every day. Like this is bad.
You're
Like,
not growing as a person.
You're not growing as a person. That's clearly what he's done. Like he has stunted his own growth and trapped himself in this room.
Oh yeah.
And just gets angry when these girls don't agree with him.
And gets angry when they realize his tricks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It's crazy. I will say though, the comment in this 1 star bothered me.
Which one? Which comment?
The Hollywood seems to have developed a strange fixation on undermining male characters, making them lose in ways that feel forced and insulting to the audience's intelligence.
No. That's not true.
I'm going to say, while I see you, I hear you. I'm not going to be the person who's going to make your voice feel unheard, but I will say that sexism is a huge issue in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Not against men.
Yeah.
I have evidence for this. I've written papers about this. I apologize that you feel this way, but also I think you need to look at some of the statistics like the Bechdel test and a lot of the movies that have come out about men more than women. And
also just
I don't even know how to get on to this topic.
There are literal shows that have been canceled just because there was LGBTQ representation.
That's why I think Yellow Jackets is not coming back, unfortunately.
It's also wild because it's like, well, it's even animated shows.
It better come back,
animated kid shows that aren't overtly one way or the other. It's just they thought it was this way. So they literally end shows because people complain. I mean, shit, when it makes me think back to when the Buzz Lightyear movie came out. And there were certain theaters that had fucking notes on their fucking doors being like, well, there's romance scene between two women in this film and all this kind of stuff. And like, it's the people who are like, well, I don't like seeing like they're like there's less ads with white people in it, or there's less.
It's like, bro, that's the
shows
point. It's now
with,
these people are seeing more ads with themselves in it.
Exactly.
And it's not all about you.
It's like
crazy.
Why aren't there, like,
but it's also
bitching
like,
and complaining about all these other people?
And I've looked at this.
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready for this? Like, I've noticed ads being more diverse.
And they're beautiful.
But I've also looked just like, I think it's subconsciously, just because, you're looking for yourself in media. You're looking,
always.
And there's never not still been a white person.
Exactly.
So I don't understand what y'all are complaining about.
Exactly.
Huh?
I'm like, we're not shoving it down your throats.
We're still here.
It's just we're now more visible.
Yes.
There's a difference.
There's a difference.
We're not shoving it down your throat. We're just more visible now.
When it's so crazy to me because the way they say shoving it down your throat, but then it's exactly what they do.
Yeah. Again.
And then they think that we are an
They
issue.
talked about indoctrination and all that kind of shit of us doing things to other people or certain groups doing it to other people. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, what's your entire religious belief based on?
Literally.
Conversion? Okay.
Spread the gospel.
And you don't, okay.
No,
but it's the drag queens. No, but it's the LGBTQ.
No, it's not.
They're indoctrinating. They're doing bad things. And I'm like, no, honey. Why don't you go on the internet and tell me what religious group has the most issues with the most people in regards to those kinds of groups? And I'm just going to tell you right now, it sure as shit ain't those. You know, they're not convincing the kids to change. The kids just already knew, and it's a safer environment for them to be able to say, well, I'm this way.
Yep.
And they're able to do it younger and younger, because the reason why younger and younger people are either coming out as lesbian, as gay, or trans on any level of those kinds of things at younger ages is because technically and realistically, society has become more open and accepting of allowing people to say those things and not to be persecuted
Which
for.
is why I also think, like what I was saying earlier, where it was like, this is a sad but true reality of like, it's always been this way where we've tried to be seen and we get pushed down for it. But I think if you look at it over history, it's been pushed down and pushed down. Like even you've seen writers who are a person of color, LGBT, and they were destroyed by people.
Yeah.
So we'll never get that.
Mm-hmm.
That type of art again because it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's why so many people tried to protect things and tried to say it was something else. Like a lesbian actually was straight just to protect her art, because otherwise people would destroy it just because of her sexuality.
There's literally paintings. I remember there was a painting because I'm scrolling on a Pinterest, because that's where I am, because it's safer to be on right now.
It is. It's
so that
pretty.
I'm not.
It's pretty. It's aesthetic. It's not scary doom and gloom.
Yeah. I'm like, on all social medias, I've kind of like stepped a little bit away. I've been on Pinterest because it's just pretty pictures, clothing, and fun things to look at, and not political or intense. And that's a lot.
Scary.
And I remember there was a picture that was, because, you know, you do see it sometimes, but not a whole lot. But there was a picture, and it was supposed to be, it's like a joke, because the idea is it's a painting of two women very clearly kissing. And the title of the painting is like, two friends, blah, 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 blah. And
they
I'm just
will,
like,
no, and they will always say
they were two friends.
No, they will always say that it was two friends, because people will take it and they will destroy it and they will ruin it, like, and we'll never have it again.
There's also a painting that's of a woman who, it's a painting of a woman, and I believe she's nude to some degree, or something to that effect. I know that it's a picture about rape, and it's two men. But in the picture that most people have seen, it's of her kind of shying, like it almost like a gentle shying away, and these guys are just kind of a little leery. But I think what it was is that they've done an X-ray and seen the real painting that's actually underneath it.
Shit.
And it's actually of her like horrifically her face is in pain and fear, and her hair's being pulled by the men, because it's a painting about assault. It's a painting about something horrific happening to women that got painted over to seem less bad than it actually was. And that has happened a lot.
I guess what I'm just trying to say is that all of this is really coming to light, and not everyone has known about these like things that have been hidden.
Oh yeah.
And I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though we've been pushed down years and years and years, I think we are coming into a period of like waking up, and more people are realizing that these things are okay.
Yeah.
So we are being seen more, and honestly, I think,
and there's more people standing up.
Yes, and if we keep going in this direction, then hopefully one day everybody will we will all love each other or tolerate each other.
And truly, that's it.
And I really hope that the more we rise up, the more they don't fight back.
Yeah. And that's all a hope. That's all we can hope. And not even just fight back. It's just, it's just, we just got to tolerate each other.
Yeah. Again, tolerance.
We can be irritated and not like each other, but that don't mean that I have to wish your death.
But again, this whole movie claims that the true religion is control. So if that's why you hate everyone and can't tolerate anything,
because you can't control your surroundings, well, you know what?
Life is
neither
about
the fucking
not
we,
having
can
control.
we?
Right. We can't control how you feel about us either. So step off your high horse, because I honestly think that's where control comes from.
Oh, yeah. It's people wanting to be better than others and not wanting to control all that is around them. Yep.
Be a good person. Just strive for that, and I think you're
better
than
Be a good person
most.
And attempt to tolerate.
Yes.
But right now, society's having a hard time trying to do that right now. And the only reason why people right now are getting into the extremes is because no one is willing
to admit
to start tolerating.
Yeah.
Because the truth is what if I start to tolerate and they refuse to?
Right.
Then what do I do? Do I let them put me into to nothing? Or do I fight back against that? So, sometimes, unfortunately, some stuff has to come to a head before tolerance can truly start again.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
Hopefully.
Happy sunshine.
That's how I'm just going to live my days.
Yeah.
Or try.
And honestly, to try is better than nothing.
Yep.
There's, and again, it's also one of those situations where there's going to be people that you're like, I will never tolerate you as a person because you are a fucking terrible human being.
Fair enough.
There's a limit to everyone. Yeah. Clearly. There's no point in time where I'm going to tolerate a serial killer. Sorry. You deserve to die. Because you're a terrible human being who's murdering people. End of story. There's certain people and certain ways that people do things that are just horrific. And they don't care. That's when tolerance is no longer required.
Yes.
Tolerance is, I live in an apartment with someone and this person keeps leaving the plastic bottom of a plate out instead of putting it back in the cupboard. I'll just put it away. It's
tolerance
fine.
Is if I have to live with a straight white male.
Yep. I can do it.
I'll do it.
Doesn't mean I enjoy it, but I'll do it.
Who's a gym bro?
Who's a gym bro?
And really likes Andrew Tate.
I don't know if you'd be able to handle that one.
Okay, maybe not really likes, but questioningly says weird things
that weirdly coincide
with Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
As long as you're not acting on any of that shit, I'll tolerate you. I'll live with you.
But if you start to act on it, I move. I don't continue to live there dealing with you.
But I'm not going to change you as a person, even though I have some serious things against you.
Yeah.
Because, hello.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have so many things that I could say about everything, but there's only so much you can fit into a 2-hour podcast.
The other thing also is that your version of it, the version that you just gave, is a more extreme version of trying to tolerate somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm saying the difference between you live with a dude and they just keep leaving the toilet seat up.
Yeah, but I'm talking...
Because right now, unfortunately in society right now, the version that you're talking about is more accurate of what's happening right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying we're not tolerating each other like that.
Exactly. Well,
Right now, I have all the tolerance like anyone could ever have, but
There's also a
that
difference.
diminishes every day.
There's also a difference between tolerance and giving up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I can say, I don't give a shit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. That's right.
And I'm not going to. I'm not going to put effort into it. So,
yeah.
that's the magical key between the two. But yeah.
This episode has been everywhere.
And nowhere.
And nowhere. We just kind of circled the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of to be expected in this kind of episode. It's about a very specific, highly touchy topic.
Yeah.
So, but don't worry, because our next episode is going to be on a fun one that I actually really enjoyed, which was Until Dawn.
Fuck yeah.
I really liked that movie.
Me too.
It was very good.
Yes.
Very good.
I agree.
And we're going to definitely get into it. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about, like, you know, the kind of conversations that we had when we came out of the theater.
Came out, yep.
Yeah. We
should honestly start just like whip the phone out.
Yeah.
First thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that'd be very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and also, as a heads up, don't worry. As we know that the fastly approaching, if both of us had this conversation.
Oh my God.
Is fucking HHN season.
Oh my God.
We're ready.
How are we here again?
We're ready.
How are we here again?
Yeah, we're here.
I feel like my head was just shoved into a mask like not that long ago. Yeah. I can still smell it.
Yeah, so do not worry. When stuff starts getting announced, when things are getting talked about, we will have a little convo about it.
Facts.
Before we get into everything. So, because again, we're HHN people. Come on. It's our time of the year. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about them as the time progresses, the more we find out and things like that. So yeah. But aside from that, you can send us an email at horrorunmasked@gmail.com. Be nice. You know, we're not coming after you, but like we have our own belief systems. And you can listen to us on all the fun places. Mm-hmm. Again, movie recommendations, and other places that you may want us to put our podcast onto, let us know. Also, I am attempting to try and work on a Linktree style thing, but that's all of that is under construction. Mm-hmm. Just like so is our social media, because right now social media is a little in the air. Our social media stuff might not be...
I like that it's under construction.
Yeah. It's all under construction. A lot of it probably will not... I'm going to be honest. Our social media stuff is probably not going to be really picking up or doing anything until the following year. Once our Miss Missy here is officially graduated and out of school.
One more semester, baby.
And then we'll refine things, change things... and start making sure that stuff, at least posts and whatnot on what's happen Indeed. More in time.
I'll have more time, less stress, and
yeah,
that'll be that.
Yeah. Well, I think with that,
there's only one thing left to ask. Will you fear?
Or will you fear not?